Okay, guys, I decided. I'm gonna tell you a story. Stories are fun, especially story times, right? I was recording something a minute ago, and I was like, man, why can't I can do a story? It's about kissing. Is that good enough for you? So let me set the scene. I was in 10th grade. My second year at this one private school that I'm going to currently. I was still kind of getting the gist of things. I was interested in the plays, and I tried out the first year. That did not go well. Let's just say I'm not used to classical learning or speaking Shakespearean, but I didn't get a speaking role, but I somehow ended up with some kind of role, so that was good. But this year, the second year, I prepared myself. I looked at the specific character I wanted. I had a monologue, one from Bridesmaids, and it was great. It was a great monologue. It was just great. I felt so confident in the character, and I really liked the character because I never got a role in general, and it was just, I loved the era. The play was set in the 40s, and it was called Arsenic and Old Lace, and I was trying out for Elaine Harper. Let's just say I was a bit over my head, and I didn't get the part. I didn't. I was sad, but the thing that I was sad about is that I didn't get any part in it at all. I just got understudy, meaning I'm not going to be on stage no matter what. So I was a bit disappointed. I just wanted to be on stage, really. The person who got it was a bit stressed and worried about doing this part with school, and so she took on the lead as student director instead of the actual character, and I was able to fill in for her. And she did a great job at student directing. I was happy. It was about 2 weeks, I want to say, after practice officially started, so it wasn't that long in that she was like, we were aware that she didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, man, I'm so terrified but happy at the same time, because I never had a lead before, and I didn't know what kind of things to expect from just practices in general, because to be honest, I can be easily intimidated. Before we tried out, we were all aware, and he made it aware, that we had to do a kiss scene. My character had to do a kiss scene because she was the main character who was in love and had a fiance, and I get that. That was totally fine, and I was like, okay, I can do it. And he said it was a stage kiss, so I was like, okay, so it won't be a real kiss. I never kissed anyone before, and it won't be real. We'll be good. It's my first time acting. This is my time to prove that I can do this. It was kind of funny because he actually had to go to my mom and dad and ask them, are you alright if your daughter does this? Because the dean, upper school dean, the dean of the school in general, basically he's the principal, wasn't aware that we were doing a play involving kissing, and he was very concerned about that. So our director was forced to make it clear to everyone what was happening. Lucky for me, the first day of practice, it might have been a second, but it was very, very soon. So, you want to get that kiss scene out of the way and just get it done now and practice it? Okay. And for those of you who do not know, meaning probably none of you unless you go to my school, the person who is playing my love interest, I never talked to him in school. He was a senior. I was 2 years younger than him. He's a great person. It's just I never talked to him before. I don't know him. So the first practice, it's like, oh, so hi, I'm Hannah. Let's do a kiss scene together. And I did feel like that younger student that was like, oh gosh, it's a senior. What, he's gonna think I'm a nerd or something. Especially since I never really got a role before, never acted officially. So I was a bit nervous about that, especially. And the kiss scene, basically, in my personal experience, it wasn't as bad as it sounded. So basically, it's the scene where I'm being all flirty and I lean up on a desk and I'm just like flirting, and after my line, he says a line, he comes over, and then he does that kiss. And it actually looked really real in the end, which scared me and other people because they thought we really kissed. To do a stage kiss and the most realistic way is to get as close as possible, no lips actually touching, but having your thumb there and kissing your own thumb instead. Which was awkward because I never been that close to a guy before. I never really had guy friends in general. The awkwardness was the most intense, but it made it like easy to ignore because you were like, okay, this is the most awkward thing ever, but it's so awkward that I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm just thinking about acting. So it was kind of easy to ignore the awkwardness, and it wasn't as awkward as I thought, I guess. I think since you got it over with, it was like the awkwardness just left, in my opinion. But for him, it was a bit more awkward. One, because he had to lean over me. It was just like, yeah. He had to make sure that every angle looked like it was a real kiss. It looked like he was close enough to be actually kissing me. Looked like that he was into it. So he had to make sure his shoulders were positioned correctly so that it covered certain angles and certain sides that the audience cannot see fully. I'm sorry if you're out there, this specific actor, and you're watching this and it may be embarrassing, but I'm not saying your name, and if I did, I will cut that out, and I hope you do not get embarrassed by this because I'm just as embarrassed by this. His thumb on my lips, and he was nervous to get close enough, and the director's like, you gotta get closer, you have to, or we gotta cut this out. And so it ended up turning pretty good. It took him till the very last performance to get so close that his lips were actually touching his thumb. The other times he was too scared to get that close, I could tell. And it went good in the end. But another thing, even after the performances, he didn't talk to me. I know it sounds sad, but I do not blame him. I do not judge against it because, to be honest, I probably wouldn't talk to me either if I was in his position. One, because we didn't know each other. Let's say we knew of each other. We didn't know each other though. We talked in our characters on stage and acted, and the chemistry looked great. Everyone said that. Even I thought that. Even though our chemistry off stage wasn't anything. We didn't talk. And so maybe that's one of the keys to having good chemistry on stage, just not knowing anything about each other. And that probably made the kiss less awkward too, because I didn't know him personally, and if I was to kiss one of my friends in my class that was a guy, that would be more awkward because we know each other. I will say the actor, he did say one thing to me off stage that I specifically remember. All the other times he may have said simple phrases that were barely anything, but I do not, okay, I do remember the specific time, but not what exactly he said, but it was something along the lines like, are you nervous? Or I'm pretty nervous about this, or you're doing good. It was something along those lines, and we were waiting behind stage to go out. And so, that was one of the most awkward things I've ever done, but at the same time, it didn't feel like the awkwardest thing, because there are many other times when I have been more embarrassed, but I think it was so awkward where I just didn't show the embarrassment. And what was more awkward is that he was kind of afraid to get near me and touch me, even though I was like, come here, just come, I want to get this over with. This is a little off-track side note with another man. It's funny calling him a man. He is in my class, and I knew him. He did not play my love interest. Thank goodness there wasn't a love triangle here. But he did play my kidnapper. He had to put his hand over my mouth, use a cloth, and this cloth, let me remind you, this cloth later in the play, and it's the same cloth we use each performance. He shoves it in my love interest, his mouth. It's in the character's mouth that my character is supposed to kiss. So I have this rag that's also used in that scene over my mouth and has been used before. I didn't think of that till afterwards. And he had to put it over my mouth, put my arm here, and I had to lean back and he had to drag me. But the problem was I was tripping over his feet and he had to officially drag me, and I couldn't help out with like moving back, which I felt bad. But what was also awkward, when you're trying to figure out the hand positioning and taking me, he didn't know where to put his hand. Like, he was touching my shoulder, my arm, but the director's like, no, put your hand on her wrist and put it behind her back, not here. And he was still confused. And so I was like, I'm just gonna grab your hand and put it here, and then you're gonna take me and I'm gonna get kidnapped. So that was another awkward moment, because he just didn't know what to do. It wasn't that he was making it awkward, he just didn't know what to do, and I had to be like, come here, I'm just gonna guide you guys in what to do to kidnap and kiss a girl. And so what was fun about that scene is I got to scream. It was one of the funner scenes. I know that's not a word, but in Hannah's dictionary, it's a word. Do you recommend watching the movie? It is from the 40s. So it's old and in black and white. I believe it is. Yeah, I think it's in black and white. It's a little bit different from the play. It's dark comedy. That's what I love about it. And it's different in a sense with small scenes. It doesn't change the whole plot. The only big difference is that I believe the two characters in love, they're already married, but in the play, they're just fiancés. If you see any performances of it, let me know, because it was the most fun play I have ever been in, even though, oh my gosh, I keep burping, even though it was like the only one I've been a lead in. But I've been in so many other plays, and this one, I just loved it. It was great. And he also, the one who kidnapped me, also played my love interest in another play at my church, which was awkward as well, because he had to lean into a kiss in that play as well. But luckily we didn't get as close as in the first ever play I had a lead in. That was the story of how I had my first kiss. People thought we really kissed afterwards, but no, we didn't. There was a rumor that he was gonna do it on the last performance, and all my friends told me, I'm like, he's not that brave. He's not gonna really kiss me, and I don't know him. And sure enough, he wasn't brave enough. I hope you enjoyed the story. It's something that makes me laugh every time I think back about it, and it was just a great time I had. A lot of my class was in it in general, so I got to act with them, and it was funny. It was funny, and yeah. If I keep talking, I know I'll go on a rant about all the experience I've had behind stage and on stage in both this play and other plays. So I hope you enjoyed this story time. I know it will be long, but you can speed it up. You can speed it up. I'm Long Hannah. If you're new, thanks for watching, and I hope you hit that like button or subscribe button with your face. Please do not get injured. In fact, if you don't want to hit it, I completely understand, because that will lead you away from a lot of issues happening. See you next time, hopefully with some kind of new video that I haven't done before. So bye guys!